Hello there, everyone. How's everybody doing out there tonight? So glad to be back after 2 weeks off. Finally got stuff situated with my cable and internet provider. Um, but welcome to another episode of Wrestling Quick Takes. And this week I thought it would be appropriate to talk about the life and career of Scott Hall. First things first, how's everybody doing out there tonight? Hope everybody's having had a safe weekend. Football season's getting ready to start. But nevertheless, um, back to the subject at hand, I thought it would be more appropriate to talk about the life and career of Scott Hall, aka the Bad Guy Razor Ramon. As many of you know, he tragically passed away. I believe it was in May of this year or something like that. But his passing left an impact on the entire wrestling world, and you know, it's still being felt around the wrestling world. He touched a lot of people, and he was a great human being, great human being, and you know, I feel like he's one of the all time greats to ever step foot inside of the squared circle. I think he's definitely top 10, top 15, top 10, however you want to call it. Um, he's definitely a pioneer of professional wrestling. Um, but inside the ring, he could basically he could take it to you. Um, but outside of the ring, he did have his personal demons, and you know it ended up taking his life because everybody has a story, not only in the ring, but outside of it. And nobody's perfect in this world. Um, nobody's perfect, not all sunshine and rainbows, but he had a lot of personal demons. And as you're about to hear, you know, yeah, came back and bit him in the butt in the end. So with that being said, let's go on and get started. Get my notes here. Okay, got my notes right here in front of me. The life and career of Scott Hall. Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, was a down to earth and well respected human being. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind and let you know if something was good or something was bad. He would let you know. Hall also boosted one of the greatest careers that we've ever seen. I mean, he was a former IC champ, tag team champ, television, and United States champ. This week on Wrestling Quick Takes, I will be talking about the life and career of Scott Hall and taking your questions. So let's do it. First segment we're going to start off with is Hall's life. Scott Oliver Hall was born in St. Mary's County, Maryland, on October 20th, 1958. He grew up as a military brat, attending high school in Munich and moving once every year before he was 15. Hall married Dana Lee Burrigo in 1990. This just happens to be the year I was born. They divorced in 1998 due to Hall's drug use. They remarried in 1999 and divorced again in 2001. They had a son named Cody, born in 1991, who also became a wrestler, and a daughter named Cassidy, born in 1995. Hall married his second wife, Jessica Hart, in 2006. They divorced in 2007. Hall's problems with drugs and alcohol were made public in the late 1990s and were incorporated into a controversial WCW storyline. While the storyline was playing out, Hall was legitimately arrested for keying a limousine while intoxicated outside of a nightclub in Orlando, Florida, causing $2,000 in damages. I mean, I didn't really want to spend too much time on Hall's life. I figured I'd just give you a quick, brief, you know, memo of, and all of these things basically led to Hall's tragic passing this year. I mean, the drug usage, I mean, everything, the drinking, you name it, he did it. And so I just wanted to give you know, a brief statement or a brief storyline on his life, the life part of this episode, because it's kind of, as many of you know, it's kind of a touchy subject when you're talking drugs and whatnot. Scott Hall's career. Scott Hall put together a Hall of Fame career that we all enjoyed. And from my point of view, it was an honor watching him over the years. I'm going to give you 5 phases of Scott Hall's life as a pro wrestler. According to BleacherReport.com, the big journeyman with an impressive look who got some opportunities and theoretically could have been a big star, but never really progressed as a personality or in-ring wrestler to the point we could actually to the point he could actually be a big star. One of the biggest stars in WWF in the new generation era as Razor Ramon, an even bigger star as one of the founding members of the NWO, a walking statistic who was considered unlikely to ever get sober after about a dozen trips to rehab, maybe more so than any other star wrestler. Current version, the current version who's made a remarkable recovery to the point he looks and sounds like a completely different person. Scott Hall broke into wrestling in 1984. He had gotten Florida legend Hiro Matsuda to start training him, but his trajectory changed when he bumped into Barry Windham in a grocery store. Hall introduced himself, explained his situation, and Wyndham told him to ditch Matsuda because he was infamous for trying to break prospective wrestlers down. Yeah, so he broke into the business in 1994, and you know he wasn't going to make it right away as a star, but over time it kind of gave him a chance to kind of work on his craft and get the proper training and help he needs. And what better name to talk to or to be with than Barry Windham. And so once he met Barry Windham, his whole career just changed. It just poof. It exploded. Scott Hall's greatest matches. Scott Hall put on some of the greatest matches that we have ever seen. My personal favorite is when he did battle with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10 in 1994. I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite Scott Hall matches that I have ever seen, beginning with number 1. Razor Ramon versus Bret Hart at King of the Ring 1993. According to the Sportster.com, the first match of the 1993 King of the Ring event featured Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon, both looking to advance. Hart had one of the best performances of his career on this night, having 3 great matches against 3 opponents of different styles. Razor had a great night as well, playing the heel role to perfection. Both men delivered in the ring with the tone of the show getting getting set well. Hart pulled off the victory to advance to the next round. Ramon showed he was going to be a major player in the company. Our second our second match takes us back to SummerSlam 1994, where we would see two friends do battle. Razor Ramon versus Kevin Nash at SummerSlam 1994. An underrated match in the career of Scott Hall came against his close friend Kevin Nash at SummerSlam 1994. Both men were playing their WWE characters of Razor Ramon and Diesel at the time. They had the third biggest match of the night with celebrities involved in helping. NFL star Walter Payton was in the corner of Razor, hoping to outmatch Diesel, having Shawn Michaels at his side. Ramon scored the win to retain his Intercontinental Championship. The two friends have great chemistry in the ring that would be chanted into a tag team years later. Our next match takes us to the year of 1998, where we would see Hall versus Sting at Uncensored 1998. The best Scott Hall match from WCW saw him getting a rare world title shot. Hall won the World War III event to earn a future WCW championship match. Sting winning the title would see Hall finally step up to get his title shot. Both men had a great match together at the Uncensored 1998 event. Sting retained the title, but Hall made the match a bit more unpredictable than expected. The most surprising thing about Hall's career is that he never won a world title. Uncensored 1998 was one of his closest chances to pull it off. Coming in at number 4 is an underrated rivalry from WWE in 1995 between Double J Jeff Jarrett and the Bad Guy Razor Ramon. Their most notable match came at the 1995 Royal Rumble event. Razor Ramon and Jeff Jarrett had one of the most underrated WWE rivalries in 1995. The feud for the Intercontinental Championship would see the two have great chemistry. Their best match came as the opener of the Royal Rumble 1995 event. Jarrett used some heel tactics to get the advantage and steal the IC title. Razor Ramon clearly was the more popular worker, and the fans invested strongly into the match. This was this was one of the top matches for the title that Ramon helped make relevant in the 90s. Our final match takes us to 1990 to 1996, a match that changed professional wrestling forever. The Outsiders versus Lex Luger, Randy Savage, and Sting at Bash at the Beach 1996. was a match that had it all, but also the match that the NWO was born. Bash at the Beach 1996 is one of the most important nights in the history of professional wrestling. The Outsiders, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash collided with Randy Savage, Lex Luger, and Sting. The match was virtually a tag team match, with the total package being stretchered out of the arena. The match itself was exceptional, and the Outsiders had a stranglehold on the proceedings. Savage and Sting managed to work their way back into the match. Nevertheless, the unthinkable happened when Hulk Hogan marched down to ringside and turned heel. Hogan, Nash, and Hall shocked the world, and the NWO was born. So I think out of those 5 matches I just gave, I would probably have to say like Bash at the Beach 1996 is clearly like number one because that was the night the NWO was born, and that changed professional wrestling forever. And it also drew in a new era. I mean, who would have thought after 15, almost 20 years, Hulk Hogan, who was this longtime hero, who was this longtime good guy, all of a sudden he would turn heel and become a bad guy? Who would have thought after all those years that Hogan would be a bad guy who would turn his back on the crowd? Me personally, I never thought that would happen, but it did, and because it did, it changed the landscape of wrestling forever. Final part. And then I'll be looking to take you guys' questions. Scott Hall's greatest moments. The bad guy gave us some of the greatest moments that I personally have ever seen. I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite Hall moments, beginning with his WCW debut. The year was 1996, and the war between WWE and WCW was riding high. When Hall made his debut on Nitro, it sent shockwaves around professional wrestling. According to Wikipedia.com, his debut his debut on Nitro, Hall made his way through the crowd, grabbed a microphone, and got into the ring. He uttered he uttered the iconic words, "You people know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here." With this promo, the former bad guy kicked off one of the most successful angles in the history of the business and totally changed the industry. Our second Hall moment is when the bad guy wins his first Intercontinental Championship, going back to WWE. The title would become synonymous with Hall during his first run with WWE. He feuded with the best the company had to offer throughout his time. Razor Ramon, Razor Ramon would become the first man to ever win the IC title. Got my second book here. On on 4 occasions, he would become the first guy to ever win the IC title on 4 separate occasions. The bad guy is regarded as one of the greatest champions in the title's history. Our final moment takes us back to 1996 when Hall, Nash, and Hogan formed the NWO. We were just talking about this. Hall, Nash, and Hulk Hogan officially formed the New World Order at Bash at the Beach 1996. This became a group that changed the business completely. They revolutionized the industry and helped WCW overcome WWE in the Monday night ratings war. This has to be viewed as the most successful run and the greatest moment of Scott Hall's career. The bad guy left an impact on the business that is still felt to this day. The announcement of his passing shocking. Was shocking. Was shocking because you never thought that someone of his stature would be taken away from us like this. At the end of the day, the bad guy, Diamond Stud, or Scott Hall, however you want to phrase it, he will always be remembered as a legend in this business. Well, that does it for this week's show. And until next time, God bless. So when you put two and two together, um, Scott Hall left in an impact on this business. He was a gentleman. He was basically a son, like he was basically a father like son moment. I mean, he has a kid, so I mean, he left an impeccable impact on the business that is still being felt to this day. I mean, no one did it like Scott Hall, and it's unfortunate that his personal demons kind of came back to bite him in the butt and ultimately take his life. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And at the end of the day, I think he's top 10 all time in terms of greatest to ever step foot in the squared circle, if you ask me. And so, with that being said, um, I guess I'll take some of you guys' questions. Hold on 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. So I guess I'll take some of you guys' questions. What do you guys think the impeccable legacy of Scott Hall is? Like, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Um, Me personally, um, I think it's going to be, I think it's an impeccable legacy. A legacy, especially with the Intercontinental Championship, that'll never be duplicated. I mean, yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting. And if not, then just let me know what you think, what you guys think in the chat. Um, what do you think about Scott Hall's career? I mean, what do you think his legacy will be? I mean, when it's all said and done. If not now, then I guess that will be all, guys. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode of Wrestling Quick Takes this week. And until next time, God bless. And again, just leave them down in the comment section below What do you guys think Scott Hall's career and legacy will be? I mean, let me know what you guys think in the chats below. And until next time, guys, God bless.